breathe, and you'll see that I live in a world that don't give a fuck, bitch.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Fat Man Buddha. Please say the Buddha.
Woke up looking for the broccoli. Hot key, keep a horn on me. That could my seat. Hot peak, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet.
And I know that it's been a long time. It's almost been, what? Almost a year. Almost a year. I took a whole year break. Just for the simple fact of a lot of y'all people feel like y'all a show me state. And again, I want to make this completely clear and completely self-evident. I never once said that I was a prophet. I never once said that I was a prophet, nor do I accept the title as prophet. Not once. All I said was, this is the plan that I wrote out, and it's working. Yeah. So, first and foremost, to all the people who have been doing what they're supposed to do and preparing for the great separation that is going to happen, and preparing to let a lot of loved ones go.
OCO, peace to the gods and the goddesses. Thank you, ancestors, for your provision and for your guidance, your presence in this Grand Canyon. Thank you, Mother Earth.
This is what I thought it would be like to farm.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
This is what it's really like.
Shalom, everybody. Let's go on a tour. First up is the yarrow. It's starting to bloom. Then they have some lettuce over here, some kale from overwinter, Swiss chard, collards, I think. Honestly, I don't even know. Some squash that has no squash on it yet, so still waiting. And these are my green beans. It's a bunch of different ones. It's like contender, dragon tongue, and some other ones. Look at my cosmos. I'm very excited about this. It has its own pot this year, so I really want that to bloom really nicely. I have some peppers. If anybody know why this is happening to them, please let me know. Here's my forest of tomatoes. I went through and pruned the bottoms of them, but these are all from seed with fish berry underneath at the bottom.
Come here. Let me tell you a secret. Don't tell nobody though. It's just for you. Y'all know we in slavery, right? No? You don't think so? Let me break it down to you. President, slave master, police, overseers, jobs, plantation. Now I know cognitive dissonance gonna kick in a little bit, cause you like, nah, I make $100,000 a year. I'm about. Listen, they got you paying to register your car. That we pay for water, we pay for food, we pay for everything that God gave us for free.
You know, David Banner said that he spoke on the Brock Newman show a few weeks ago, my brother, man. That brother said you got two choices. You can attack them through violence, or you can attack them through money. Now, everybody's not afraid to kill each other, but we seem to be afraid to kill a clear and open enemy. So if you ain't gonna take them M16s, them Kalishnikovs, and all this other stuff that you rap about, killing each other with it, if you're not gonna take them to the streets, then at least to my rappers and my entertainers, help these people direct their money in a way.
You know, there's always three phases to a separation. First it's the spiritual, then it's the mental, then finally the physical, And believe it or not, we've already gotten through the spiritual and mental very quickly. Like we have we have really just exploded. And I mean, we have gone at a very rapid and fast pace to hold this separation where it is now. So a couple of things that I do want to say that I'm disappointed about. One, I'm kind of disappointed that a lot of people are still out there using all these conspiracy theories and all these truths to make money. Yeah, especially, and I can't believe I'm actually going to mention this, especially with everything that has been going on with the whole P. Diddy thing.
Are you gay?
How you gonna ask me a question like that?
How do you marry a woman and then turn around and let a man bend you over?
Ain't nobody bending me over.
Oh, so you doing the bending?
Never calm down.
Man, calm down.
Diddy is in jail. You telling me to calm down? Puff is in jail, and you telling me to turn down? Nigga, all right, cool, whatever. Whatever he says, whatever you say, the party's in jail, nigga. And we all white still.
And I really hope that I'm right when I said that as a distraction, we are going to release someone who looks like Rashad Jamal. Again, I want to reiterate that Rashad Jamal is dead. As Rashad Jamal was killed in prison for being a snitch. Yes. Because Rashad Jamal was preparing to trade information about the underground lakes in Georgia for the safety of kids that's not even his. He's gonna trade vital information for kids that weren't even his. So yes, we did kill him. And again, like I told you before, I didn't sign off on his death. My daughter did, because she is now in control of this territory. But yeah, I really am hoping that it's going to be a look-alike instead of us releasing Sean Combs as a distraction for the rest of you. But you all are getting close to the questions that I really want you to answer. You all are getting close to the questions that I really want you to ask. Because everybody's so, oh my God, how could he do this? R. Kelly, how could he do this? All these people, how could they do this? The children are 13, the children are 10, the children are 7. How could this go on? Has anybody ever asked the question of why aren't the parents being held accountable or put on trial? That's what the whole R. Kelly thing was about. The whole R. Kelly thing was to see how mature your intellect really is. Because anyone of a mature intellect would say, throw the parents in jail right along with R. Kelly, because both R. Kelly and the parents admitted that R. Kelly would pay them $10,000 to let their daughter spend a month at his house. And yet all those girls' parents are still free. I'm sorry, not parents, all their pimps are still free. You all really have to get used to the idea that there are a lot of parents out there that are selling their children just for monetary gains. But you still don't have a mature intellect about certain things. But you're getting there. You are getting there. Everyone who's doing this for monetary gains is being exposed at a very, very rapid pace. And it's not hard to expose them. I mean, just sit down and listen to them for 5 minutes. You'll see exactly, because they're just going to repeat the same thing. They're going to talk about the ice wall. They're going to talk about Freemasonry. They're not gonna not detailed, but ooh, did you know the white gloves on the Mickey Mouse hand?
Oh, I'm blowing your mind again. Ready? Yeah, let me see. Check this out. Disney. Do you know why Disney characters wear gloves? No, why? Familiar with those gloves, right? Yeah. Mickey's wearing those gloves. It has like the 3 lines on it. The infamous. Yeah.
Y'all know the dumb Asian kids. And they're gonna put everything behind a paywall. Everything's Patreon. Everything's, if you want this exclusive content, you have to go to my Patreon. You have to come to my website. So, with that being said, everything's being separated right now. Everything is being separated right now. And quite honestly, I don't really expect too many people to really watch this or even see this before we cut off the internet. But hey, it's been fun though. I'm just happy that I'm one of the ones I'm one of the ones that's known but not famous, which means that everybody who's watching my channel likes to pick apart my channel and use that information to try and sell stuff, which I'm perfectly fine with. So long as I don't die for telling the truth, I'm perfectly fine with it. But at the same time, you people know what information you can and can't talk about, which is hilarious to me. Just make sure that you mention my name so people can at least come and listen to somebody who's not afraid. Everybody's so afraid of being demonetized, and they're so afraid. Again, I have to ask this question. When we cut off the internet and everything goes back to the 1700s, what are you all going to do to sustain yourself? Capitalism is dying. If capitalism is dead, we are about to start shutting down the banks next month. We've already begun to shut down the banks in California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, as well as New Mexico, not to mention Sacramento, just the entire East Coast. I mean, not East Coast, the entire West Coast, all their banks are starting to shut down and no one's saying anything. Why do you think that you can't get insurance out there anymore? Everybody's talking about the earthquakes is why you can't get insurance out there anymore because there are no banks out there anymore. But yes, because you have to think about it. An earthquake is a rare natural disaster. A tsunami is a rare natural disaster. Florida, the East Coast faces Category 5 hurricanes every single year. We face Category 5 hurricanes every single year. The Midwest faces tornadoes and twisters every single year. And still we can get insurance. Because the banks haven't left here. You would think that the banks would stop insurance payment for a naturally occurring phenomenon such as a hurricane or a twister, rather than pull the banks out of a rare phenomenon such as a earthquake or a tsunami. Like, this whole thing's ridiculous, y'all. You guys, you're almost there, but you're not there. And like I said, I'm happy for y'all. I'm proud of y'all. But y'all got to keep up, man. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been recording. So everything's kind of trying to readjust to everything else. I swear it's the static from my hair alone. I don't understand it. There we go. Okay. So back to being a mature intellect. So, Europe, speaking of mature intellects, how are your stomachs feeling?
Is from West Africa. That's both surprising and incredibly significant. Now, Mali has officially become the first African country to wipe out its national debt. Now, yes, you've heard that right. Mali, under its transitional government, has announced that it is now debt-free. Now, this is a milestone that few could have predicted just a few years ago. But this announcement comes after a series of very bold moves by the government, which took office following a military coup in 2021. But let me tell you, right? I think that this is no ordinary transition. I believe it's a transition, it's a transformation that speaks volumes about the fight against corruption and the quest for freedom and the will to actually rebuild a nation that has been riddled with political instability for decades.
Because I could have believed I told you about 2 years ago that Europe was going to starve. I could have sworn I told you that Europe was going to starve. Every single French colony in the world is now free. It started with Haiti and it ended with West Africa. And now everything in between, every French colony in the world is free of the French. And now the French government has collapsed.
In the end, it wasn't even close. Members of France's National Assembly had two choices: vote to bring down the government or abstain. Don't vote at all. Hitting 288 would mean the government collapses. In the end, they had 331 from the left and the right, a clear majority.
For the first time in more than 60 years, the country's government has been ousted.
So all of this has led to a couple of big things. One, France's prime minister resigned. But two, the president, Emmanuel Macron, is as defiant as ever, accusing his opponents of acting against the interests of the country and vowing to build a new government from the ground up.
And they're saying that it's collapsed because the prime minister never left them an economic plan that they can agree on. No, let's tell the truth. These white people are starving and their government has collapsed because they can no longer steal from black people. There you go. It's just that simple. It's just that pure. France is starving because they can no longer steal from black people. England, Britain is starving because they can no longer steal from black people and steal from the Irish and the Scottish and Wales. This damn thing. So, back to it. So to Europe, to everybody who is in Europe, and to every one of you who is stupid enough to think that now is a good time to go visit Europe, I hope you're prepared to starve. Because now that the colonial powers around the world are losing their colonies, well, what do you think is going to happen in a place where you can't really grow food like that? Imagine how everyone is going to be shocked in Europe when they find out that all their wheat, all their grain, all their rice, everything that they were being lied to, saying that it was coming from Europe because Europe is such a great place. Imagine all the people stupid enough to believe that Europe is a great place. People, we told y'all what was going to happen. We literally told y'all what was going to happen once the Venice bitch, Elizabeth, the Queen of England, if she could even be called that, once she died, we told you that every colony in the world is going to rebel because the spell is over. Literally, the spell is over. There was a reason why they broke her wand. She had a magician's wand. You do realize that, right? She was a high-ranking witch. And she had a wand. And at her funeral, they broke it because she can no longer outrun death. So, every witch around the world is now being hunted by the necromancers. Why are necromancers hunting down witches? Because witches are traitors. And that's a whole nother story within itself before we even get to anything else. So, Europe is starving. That's why they're having this whole race riot right now, because Europe is starving and white people are stupid enough to believe that the immigrants who are coming to their country are the reason why they're starving. Hilarious. Now Russia is starting to lose their colonies. They just lost Syria.
This is the moment when Syria's President Bashar al-Assad was overthrown. Russia, one of Syria's biggest allies, is now at risk of losing its military bases there. But why does this matter for Africa?
So the impact of Russia losing its bases in Syria will be quite devastating for the Africa Corps that is present in Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, as well as the Wagner Group that is in the Central African Republic and in Libya.
They literally just lost Syria. Next, they're going to lose Pakistan. And then they're going to lose Afghanistan. I could have sworn I told y'all about 2 years ago that the Persian Empire was going to be resurrected under Iran and Iraq unifying.
My heart is cold. My moves are cold. Never get old. I saved the world.
I could have sworn I told y'all that Korea was going to unify. They just got done, South Korea just got done having martial law.
All right, let's get started. How South Korea's martial drama affects geopolitics. Yoon Suk-yeol, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, declared martial law on Tuesday in the evening. It became worldwide headlines. 190 Korean legislators defied the order and gathered at the parliament and voted to overturn the presidential order. 6 hours later, President Yoon ended the martial law under pressure. Korea's defense minister and a number of President Yoon's aides resigned, and the president is now facing impeachment from opposition led by the Democratic Party leader Lee Jae-myung. The impeachment vote is scheduled on Saturday. Now, on the surface, it's the inevitable outcome of an exhausting political struggle between Korea's two major political parties. Now, I think at the core of this conflict lies the complex relationship between South Korea, China, and the United States. Beijing's growing influence in South Korea poses a greater threat than North Korea's missiles. And I think President Yoon has failed to convince his countrymen at this point in his 2 years in office, resulting in this drama.
Because the president of South Korea was so afraid that the person who he was running against, who won, by the way, he won a legitimate race. The dude who was running against him works for North Korea. What the president of South Korea doesn't tell you is that both South and North Korea work for China. Why is it so important to know that both North and South Korea work for China? It is important to know because China has already killed off their leader. Xi Jinping died, say about 5-7 years ago. So now all the Chinese colonies, now they're about to go through a rebellion. Do you now see why it is so important that after the Vinici bitch died, after she died, do you see why it was so important to start this whole World War III? Because now that the spell is over and everybody's coming to their senses, everyone's starting to ask the question, who's really in charge? That's the question that everyone's asking. Who is really in charge of this country? And everybody is starting to find out who the real axis of powers are. China, Russia, and the United States Corporation. Those are very important things. Saudi Arabia. Anybody who's in Saudi Arabia, you need to get out now because we're going to bomb Saudi Arabia back to the sands. And I'm not talking about the U.S. corporation. I'm talking about Iraq and Iran. We are planning on bombing Saudi Arabia until Saudi Arabia is no more existing in Agrabah. I want to make that very clear. We are going to annihilate Saudi Arabia. We are still going to annihilate Israel.
In other news, in a major turn of events, Yemen's Houthis have targeted Israel with a ballistic missile, leaving at least 16 people injured in Tel Aviv. Reports suggest that the missiles fired by Houthis exploded in a public park in South Tel Aviv. Those injured in the incident have been hurt mainly by shards of glass that emerged following the strike. The Israeli military says it has failed to intercept the missile launched from Yemen despite multiple attempts.
This is something very important that everyone needs to understand. It's over with now. And this whole thing has just been a reenactment of what's been going on. I've already told y'all, it's already happened. All this has already happened back in. This is, like I said, this is the last pieces of my memory. These are the last pieces of my memory before I guess I was resurrected or we made an emergency shift to another timeline. But this is the last piece of my memory because my memory goes as far as 2015 and then everything goes black. And now here we are again and everything's about to go black. I told you all before, they're going to tell you that it's a nuclear attack. There is no nuclear attack. It is a solar flare. Now that we all understand that space is in the ocean, you should know that the sun is a thermonuclear molecule on a larger scale. And since the sun is a thermonuclear molecule on a large scale, that means that the sun is a pulse essence. I think I explained that to you before when I explained to you that we live on Saturn. We live on Saturn because we are the center. You're not that mature yet, it's okay. So, the sun, which is already underneath us right now, we have been going through the 3 years of darkness, which Revelation spoke about. But you have to think, because you see in the Bible, years are days and days are years. So 3 days of darkness in the Bible is really 3 years of darkness. That's why they put up that artificial sun.
So their system is not stopping. And then finally, I want to say that we need one idea. And we're not thinking about a solution to the problem. We're dealing with all these other things, but these are diversions from the solution to the problem. And we have to start to think about a solution to the problem so that these young brothers and sisters who are here now, who are 15, 16, and 17, are not here 25 years later talking about these same problems. Now, how do I know that the white people know that we are going to come up with a solution to the problem? I know it because they have retina scans, they have what they call racial profiling, DNA banks, and they're monitoring our people to try to prevent the one person from coming up with the one idea. And the one idea is how we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem because they are going to kill us. And I will leave on that. So we have to just set up our own system and stop playing and get very serious and not be diverted.
So not only do you have to free the land and help to liberate the rest of the planet Earth for political power again, you'll have to do it so that all humanity can once again get back on its proper course. And we can live life as it's supposed to be lived. Become more godlike. The object of this knowledge is to be a reflection of yourself in the mirror of history. And when you look in that mirror, you will see God, because each one of us are in the image of the Creator, the Ancient of Days, with the lamb woolly hair and the color of amber. And as Jeremiah said, he looked like the pitch of oven. Each one of us are reflections. When we look in the mirror, we see God. God shining forth from us. And if you truly believe in the Creator, then you know that you cannot accept a life other than the highest and the best that you can get out of it.